I'm Mike Sullivan. We know it's wintertime. We know we want to get better. Of course, golf is an outdoor sport, but I'm going to show you how to set up your own indoor practice center in your garage or a spare room. You know, I used to live up north. Right now I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I don't really want to go any further north. But even still, I sometimes don't want to practice outside. It's really nice to be kind of climate controlled. So if you're in a colder climate, having someplace that you can work on your full swing is really great. So this is a setup that you could have in a garage or in a spare bedroom. You do need enough ceiling height so that you can swing a club without hitting the ceiling. Boy, it would be nice if you could have it be high enough to hit a driver. I would think if you have 10-foot ceilings, you could hit any iron you want, maybe even a driver, depending how tall you are. We've got a luxury here. I realize it because this building was built just for golf shots to be hit in, so we have a super high ceiling and a super big door behind the camera over there. So anyway, moving forward, you know, the first thing I want to talk about is the net. This product is a net return. The name of the company is the Net Return. It's the same company that makes the nets on the side of a football field when you see, you know, the field goal kicker or the punter warming up. And one of the cool things about this company, who by the way paid me nothing and give me nothing for free, right? When you call them up to order your net, when I called anyway, the owner of the company answered the phone. So I thought that was really cool. I've got 2 of these nets. I've had so much experience with this thing. I can tell you pretty much anything you would need to know. I can tell you this. It's easy to put together. The first time I put it together was probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most. And after you've taken it down, put it up a few times, it gets really, really easy. I would recommend, like for me, once I set this thing up in here, it stays here for a few months before I take it down for the summertime. It's not really the sort of thing you're going to take down and put up every time you practice, I don't think. So that's one little caveat. The other little caveat on this is it's not super cheap. They are kind of expensive. I will put a link in the description for the Net Return company so you can look into it. By the way, this is the middle size net. It's not the biggest one. I don't know what they call that biggest one. I don't know if it's the Giant or the Pro or whatever. This was the original and it's great. They have a smaller one though that may be interesting to you if you don't have a ton of space. And all I can say is, you know, don't hold me accountable for it, but you can pretty much put grandma's china behind this thing and you're not going to hit a ball through it. It's really, really great. And you'll notice I don't have anything preventing like a shank from going off and hitting anything on the side, but I do have these side protector nets that you can get with a net. I usually have them up. I just haven't put them up this year. So I would get the set that included those, and they have little sandbags to pull them back with, so you don't have to worry about damaging your floor or anything like that. You have to hit from a mat. The mats that we use are just driving range mats. These are actually ridiculously expensive. They're so expensive because they're made for outdoor use with the UV light hitting them all the time. So you don't need to get these super expensive mats. All right. Now let's talk about the next thing, which is something to help you figure out your ball flight. I'm going to take a look at this Sky Track here. I'm going to hit a ball into this net. And I want to talk a little bit about what you see when you hit the shot versus what you would see if you had a launch monitor helping you out a little bit. Okay? Let's first watch what the shot does. Hopefully I can hit a good one here. I hit behind that a little bit, but it was straight, right? A little chunky, but straight. But take a look at my Sky Track. Oh my. So yeah, it started straight, but it ended up 25 degrees, I'm sorry, 18 yards to the left. I can't see the way I used to either. So that was an 18-yard hook with a 7-iron. So if I'm practicing that shot all day into the net, all winter, without some sort of a feedback device, I'm going to be in trouble when spring comes. So now I can say, okay, if I had ball flight, I was on the range, I would know, all right, so I hooked that thing, massive, massive hook. Let's see if I can do something about that. That felt like a pull a little bit. Let's see if I was right. Yep, big pull. Look at this, I'm 0 for 2. But I can't tell you how valuable it is to see that. I mean, you may think, yeah, a little pull, no big deal, but that was 52 yards to the left. Let's try another one. That I felt started to the right. Yep, it did. And it's coming back a little bit. So that's going to be like a little push draw type shot. You know, so that netted out to be a good ball. So that's the type of a shot that I would be okay with. The ball starts off to the right at 3 degrees with 8 degrees of spin axis tilt there to help it net out in the middle. And you can see also, you know, I'm using a real golf ball, not the ball I would use in the golf course, but you can see I'm using a 7-iron, so that carry distance is just about right for me with the 7-iron. Incidentally, you can do some things here. You can change the settings on this thing so that you can simulate. See down here in the bottom, course conditions normal. You can make it soft, you can make it firm. So if it's firm, it's going to roll out more. All right. You can have wind speed. I have no wind speed. Humidity, I have 50%. You can change the altitude. So you know when you go into like the store where they sell the clubs, what they do is they bump that altitude way up so you're hitting it like in Denver, Colorado. That's why you think you hit the ball so far. And they allow you to do this too. Another cool thing here, one more quick thing on the SkyTrack, is they have this shot optimizer. So that is bringing up, I believe, the last shot that I hit, right? Yep. And it's showing the maximum height to flight time. It shows you on this right-hand side graph about, you know, what the ball flight did from a curvature standpoint. But then at the bottom, like, let's say you're working on your golf game and you want to know, hey, what should my launch angle be? What should the backspin rate be? What should the angle of attack be? It helps you with that. So they base this, I think, off your club head speed as well. So for me, I want to launch it 14 to 21 degrees. I launched it a little bit high. I had a little bit too little spin, and my angle of attack looks like it was just pretty close to where we want it to be. But I can work on those numbers too to help me get more of an optimum ball flight better for me. All right. Now the next thing we want to know about is, okay, we're hitting shots, we're getting the launch monitor feedback, but it would also help if we could have an idea of what we're doing, like having something looking at us. So I've got a camera set up right over here. So I've got, for me, it's just my my smartphone. I use an iPhone. It's a couple years old. I use an iPhone 7. But what's great about it is these mobile phones, what they've done is they come with all these cool ways to be able to attach them to tripods. So I've got this little doohickey here. They're like 10, 15 bucks, and it's a little spring-loaded job where you can just slide your phone right in there, and then you attach it to a normal like $10, maybe $20 tripod from Walmart. Okay. One other thing here is a lot of times you're going to be doing this. You know, your practice area is going to be a garage or someplace kind of tight, and the phone, you just can't get it far enough away to get a good shot. So they have this product. A lot of companies make them. Mine is from Shutter Moon. Let's see if I can get a little close-up of that without making it too blurry. Right? It's from Shutter Moon. Right? I'll put a little link in the description for all this stuff. But this is a little lens. It's a wide-angle lens that you can clip right over the lens on your phone so you can get the camera closer and you can still get the whole picture in there. All right? So in order to get, you know, a setup where you can take full swings and really do productive work, the things we really need to be able to do is we need to be able to do it without breaking something, right? We've got to be able to take a real swing at it, which the net helps out with, all right? And we would love to be able to have some real good feedback. One would be in the form of a launch monitor. The other one will be in the form of video, okay? You don't see, you know, if you were to come here and, you know, do some golf instruction with me, I wouldn't be using an iPhone. The reason I wouldn't use the iPhone is it's not as easy to draw the lines with on the app and all that stuff, but for use at home it is great. And you can put the V1 app or the Huddle app or any app you want to on here and use it for swing analysis, which, by the way, I would highly recommend. The reason you want to use one of these apps is because when you use an app, you can jog through your swing, you know, frame by frame really easily to see what you're doing position-wise. If you're just rolling the video over and over again back through, like rewinding, it's a lot harder to do that. All right, so I think that pretty much covers it. I would say, you know, to get this whole setup, not counting your garage, let's assume you already have a smartphone, right? It's going to cost you maybe, say $40 for this setup, say $20 at the most for this setup, so that's $60. And then you got your SkyTrack's going to be expensive. That might be, $1,900, so call it $2,000. And the set with I think the net return with the side guards and a really nice mat might be another $700. So for less than $3,000, and by the way, I know $3,000 is nothing to sneeze at, but for $3,000, the price of a new set of clubs, you can put yourself in a situation where you can work on your golf game. You can put in a couple hours a day every day. And the reason why we're buying all the expensive clubs, the reason why you're watching these videos is to play better golf, but you're not going to play better unless you can practice. So if you can, put together a little practice area in a spare room or in your garage. By the way, you can put a little putting mat on this when you're not hitting balls. Do those things, and believe me, your skills will get better. You'll play better golf. You'll shoot lower scores.